You cannot heal your soul, you cannot heal your trauma if you don't involve your body. In this video, I'm going to talk about how trauma and how unexpressed emotions are being stored in your nervous system and in your body, and what you can do in order to access this emotional charge and how to express it. Almost like a river that's been stopped from flowing. And I want to talk you through how you can remove the blockages after you notice them and establish that flow again. So let's start right away. So I want to talk about dissociation first. What is dissociation? Dissociation is a defense. Dissociation is a survival mechanism. So in moments where the nervous system was overwhelmed, where the soul, the body, your spirit was overwhelmed, the situation that you couldn't bear, like an unbearable pain, what happened then? That certain parts of you got exiled. This is what we experience oftentimes in parts work, where when we explore our body, when we feel an emotion that we have like a lot of resistance to, and we feel like, oh, this is like terrible. It's like a pain that feels really, really old, maybe even older than we are. If we investigate this pain through the body, we oftentimes feel and experience that there's parts of us that have been hidden. In caves, for example, I've had a personal, like, active imagination and parts work journey where I was going into a feeling like this. And I was descending into a cave. And what I found there was a little child. And the little child was wearing like a white linen, like cloth. He was wearing a little shirt and like a little pants, and it looked all dirty. And I asked it, why are you here? What happened to you, and why are your clothes so dirty? And then he said something that was really touching to me, and that exemplifies what I want to talk about today really, really well. And that is, I've been kicked so much. People have been putting dirt on me so much that I believed that I was worthy of being dirty. This is shame. This is dissociation. I'm not safe here. I'm not worthy of living. I need to cut off my personality. I need to cut off my experience in order to retreat into that cave and be there all by myself. It's like the soul wants to descend into the body, and its descent has been stopped, violently stopped. And what we call indwelling, like really the feeling of I'm home in my body, I'm home in this life, I am safe, ceases to exist. It's not existing anymore. So, and usually in front of these caves, where these parts of us are hidden, parts of us that we've exiled, there's protectors standing in front of that cave that tell us you shouldn't enter that cave. Because so far, everyone that has been in touch with the child that is in there has been hurtful. And I'm doing everything I can to stop you from going into that cave. Don't go. It's even violent sometimes. Like, it could be the voice of an inner critic, or like a very intense anger that you have that shows up right before we access this little exiled part. So there's a part of you that is protecting that child, that is saying, no, no longer. That is being violent towards the outside, maybe towards yourself, in order to protect that child, in order to preserve that child. This is the inner critic, by the way. The inner critic is protecting you. And you need to investigate yourself, like, what is it protecting you from? I have several videos on somatic shadow work and parts work on my channel. You can go deeper with that, but I want to emphasize this principle. It's protecting you. Dissociation is protection. Maybe the hostility you have towards yourself and maybe towards the outside world when you're triggered. is a part that is guarding an innocent part of you and is preserving it. So I want to talk a bit about how the body plays a role here. Because how are we accessing these parts that I just talked about? How can we get into these mythological embodied spheres, these parts of ourselves? It is through the body. Because in the body, when we access it, when we place our attention carefully on the body, and in the best case with the help of a trained facilitator, you access what psychologists call implicit memory. So there's explicit memory, which are the things that you can, remember, maybe things from childhood, maybe also traumatizing experiences, maybe what you ate yesterday, this whole spectrum. But then there's a deeper level of memory. There's a deeper level of remembering something that has been buried, something that is protected. And you can only access these deeply embedded memories through the body. And how that works is first you are triggered, or you feel a sensation that you find really, really hard to bear, maybe a sensation that you've been carrying for multiple months, multiple years, that feels old. It feels like it's sticking around, almost like a part of you that is knocking on your door relentlessly. It could be a tension in your body. It could be a feeling or a pattern that just won't leave. And what you do then is you sense into your body, you connect with that somatic imprint, with that tension, with that feeling that you have a hard time allowing, and you concentrate on it. You sense into it. You sense the sensations. And what happens then is we can access the primal emotions, the primal feelings, the primal experience that is embedded in this feeling. So this could be, for example, we are meeting the protector. We are meeting a good deal of hostility, a good deal of anger that wants to be witnessed. And what we can do then is we can get into a relationship with that part. This is not about getting rid of this protector part. This is not about getting rid of the exile, because you sure as hell know that this protector has very, very good reasons, genuinely good reasons, good intentions for standing there and blocking your way. And you want to understand him first. So you have to detach from that protector to some degree. You have to find a place within you where you can be present with that protector, where you can be present with the part that is staying here, and you can ask him, hey, yeah, I'm seeing you, and what are you protecting me from? And it seems to be really important to you, right? There's so much charge within you. There's so much aggression within you. What is it that you want? What is it that you're protecting? And this is obviously easier said than done. It takes a while so that the protector softens and maybe even shows you the way towards that child. But if you remember the story that I told in the beginning, if there's a child that has been repeatedly kicked, that has been repeatedly hurt, that feels dirty because of outside forces that caused him to feel that way, and this part here has good intentions, has good reasons. So what this exiled part experienced, and this protector is afraid of happening again, is a feeling of unsafety. So what do we need to do? We need to reverse the unsafety into safety. Healing trauma, healing dissociation, healing our exiled parts is all about safety. It's all about teaching the nervous system, teaching the body that it is safe, even teaching the difficult emotions within us, that it is safe to be here. Because a trigger, what a trigger is essentially, is the nervous system experience an intense threat, an intense feeling of unsafety, an intense feeling of, I can't be here with that, I need to escape. Like I either need to attack, I need to flee, or I need to freeze. The nervous system responses. But the overarching theme of that is unsafety. The overarching theme of that is something is there that I need to escape. Something is there that I cannot witness, that I don't want to witness. And this voice that is talking right now, this I don't want to witness that. This is the protector standing here. No, you're not getting any closer to this part. So this is how you can utilize triggers to get into a deeper contact with yourself. You know, there's so much talk about triggers. There's so much talk about what you can do in order, to overcome triggers. And people are saying, I'm triggered to like the most mundane and like meaningless things. Like it's a term that has been thrown around for so long. That's why I'm careful with using it. But still, like I'm talking about this so much on my channel. The essence of it is relationship. How do you relate towards your trigger? How do you relate towards that part that just got angry or just got frozen or sad, that just wants to retreat and want to be by itself? Can you be compassionate towards that? This is, like in my experience, what trauma healing is about. It's about making sure that your soul that is desperately trying to descend into your body, that wants to feel safe, like your body is home, giving it like a clear way to do exactly that. And the way to do that is to look at everything that is keeping your spirit, like your consciousness, your presence, from descending into your body. Like there's blockers. Something is saying, no, don't go any further. If you go any further, then you're in the present moment, and the present moment was unsafe in the past, was unsafe for a certain part of you, was unsafe in a certain situation where you made a certain experience. So what we're doing is we're not pushing through these barriers, because then this protector part would get like really, really angry and would probably lash out. No, we're doing this really, really carefully, with a lot of presence, with a lot of compassion, with a lot of curiosity. And once this thing happens, once this clash here happens, this is, by the way, when a trigger happens, soul is coming down, something happens, and your body is saying, nope, you can't experience that. You shouldn't experience that. Protection, and this protector is pressing against here, and that's stress. That's the tension that you're feeling. It's exactly that pattern. So what are we doing then? We are examining which forces are at play here. We're looking at the protector, and we're looking at what wants to be what wants to be established, like your consciousness. We're using this force here, not to press through, but to look at it, almost like an eye that is looking at the barrier. And then what happens when this part here feels safe? Soul can descend, and what it often finds here is a deeper pain, is a deeper meaning, is something that you've exiled, something that is like a deep, deep part of you, that is deeply, deeply you, that you've been cut off. And oftentimes in these processes that I have with clients, that we have in our trainings, it's a sacred moment. It's a deeply sacred moment. It feels like remembering something that you didn't even know was there. It's this feeling of, oh, this is what I've been looking for all my life. Yes. This is the feeling of being understood that I was looking for all my life. It's like this puzzle piece that was missing for all of my life has finally returned. Oh, wow. I can be safe. I have hands. I have a body. I'm here. And it's safe to be here. And the part that has been protecting you like this, maybe he's standing there looking at this process in awe and is deeply touched. And this protector that I just talked about, you can feel that he doesn't want to do its job. Like most protectors are unhappy with their jobs. Like this guard that stays here, he would probably rather do something else. But he feels like he needs to. I always say no warrior is like deeply hyped about going into battle. They need to go because there's something worth preserving. There's something worth defending. If there wasn't something worth defending, like families at home that the warrior goes into battle for, he probably wouldn't do it. He would do something else. So what if the protector learns that the battle doesn't have to be fought? He thinks like, oh, okay, the necessity is not here anymore. And it's not like it's like in some cases it's just dissolving, but it could be that through the energy that has been freed in your body-mind system, this protector gets a new role. Maybe creativity has been unleashed. Because as you can imagine, keeping up that tension and like fighting against this, like desperately trying to like keep that wall closed that you're trying to, get through, it takes a lot of energy. Let's imagine that this energy is just released. Like, maybe I want to pursue that creative project that I always want to do. Maybe I'm finally ready to have a healthy relationship. Maybe I want to make music. Maybe I want to travel. Do you know what I mean? Because the survival response is not there anymore. There's no need to survive anymore because this part learned that it's safe, that life is safe. And I want to ask you, if you're like listening and this resonates with you, what would you do if your life felt safe? Like there's so much energy that we spend on surviving. And through the implicit memory, through accessing our body, again, this is best to be done with a experienced practitioner. Because like that person creates like a vessel of safety, of relational safety that you probably need. But once that is done, the implicit memory is accessed. You went into the cave with the permission of the protector, of the guard that is standing in front of the cave. You have your torch, and you light your torch toward the part that is in there, and you say, I'm here now. And maybe the part is looking at you at first, and it's like, can't believe it, can't trust. Been hurt so many times. And then the degree of presence that you bring, the degree of goodwill and empathy and compassion that you bring can eventually show the child that being in contact, that being in relationship is safe. And maybe then you can open your hand and the child can place his little hand in your palm. And you slowly, in the pace that the child is leading, you're leaving the cave, and just in my active imagination that I did, you're leaving the cave, and what waits there is a life. What waits there is the world, like a vast view of over greenery, over hills, over mountains, an adventure waiting. And this is what I would wish for you. The adventure of life is calling you. And there's parts of you that need your safety, that wish nothing more than to be met with deep compassion, with deep, adult, mature presence. To be taken by the hand and led into life, led into your body, led into a feeling of embodied presence. So this is what I wish for you. And as we're coming to the end of the video, I hope you enjoyed that. I hope this resonated with you. I hope I could help you a bit on your journey. And if I did, then subscribe to my channel, leave a like, leave a comment. I'm really keen to hear how this resonated within you, if you did like your own parts work or your own active imaginations, if you encountered parts that I just described already. And I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye bye.